So I believe in freeing humanity from this satanic reproduction kind of based hold that they are under. Cult and culture, sex cult, occult, the sun cycle, the moon cycle. The O is supposed to be the sundial, the lunar calendar. Think about how these things pertain. You motherfuckers don't even know what time it is. Why? Because you're going by the lunatic time. The werewolf vampire time. These ideas are based on occult cult members, not actual werewolves, orcs, trolls, vampires, and elves. These are based on cultures. The people in Egypt weren't half beast, half human. These were attributes that they were taken on based on deities, gods, and perceptions of the ideal person. People would create a deity based on their own aspects that they cherish or that their complex forced them to resort to elevating above the martial arts order. You can act like bitches all you want. It's all through your popular cultures. How many martial arts or action hero movies are there, and why? Why is this a recurring theme? Why the repetition? In martial arts, we see repetition. Why repetition in this manner? If you do not free yourself from this stranglehold, if women don't stop at nothing to date people like me who are doing the right thing, before when they were attractive, after when they get sabotaged, what do you think happens? They're reproducing with the sex called scum. And if enough people don't see it my way and put their foot down and reproduce with the righteous and group together and slice it the right way, a little bit on the left, there's some righteous people who care about real freedom, who have the heart to fight to the death. A little bit on the right, they all need to come together and create a strong base with a diverse kind of compilation of ideologies. A confederacy, a union, an alliance of different views that one must accept. If you believe in the truth, you must give somebody their freedom of speech. You must protect their freedom of speech. If people come together and say, you're making me look bad. If companies say he has exuberant behavior on the internet, he's acting up, he's acting agitated, of course he's agitated. We live in a world where people are raped and pedophiles reign with impunity. How many times have different organizations, religious, Boy Scout, political, and different groups have been caught on record? Pedophile rings on the internet, thousands of people. How many people got plugged before they were caught? How many other rings are there? Sex trafficking, and you think we're supposed to sit here calm with a silly hippo look on a cartoon hippo look on our faces? What is the normal reaction? You're supposed to be agitated. You're supposed to stop at nothing to stop them. These are our kids. This is the human family. This is the direction of humanity. You are supposed to be willing to sacrifice everything for the truth, or you will live in a lie created by pedophiles, murderers, racketeers, sex traffickers, drug peddling garbage on the highest level of society that have the most attractive women chasing them, and your children take note and try to emulate them and bend over for them, trying to rise the ranks, trying to climb the social ladder. I tell you the truth, the social ladder of this world means nothing. Rahab's ladder, God's leopard child, the Pharaoh's ladder taking you to heaven is all that matters. You're trying to climb the wrong ladder. You're trying to join the wrong club. The spirit in which Narmer put that troll beneath him and said, I am the natural direction of God. Bang! That is the spirit you need to be in. They're talking about attention. Well, the A is the masculine spirit, as you remember, talking about the lexicon, morphology, etc. A, tension. What is the tension that you feel when you're around people, right? Women are like, I want this attractive martial arts hero, right? That's what they naturally want. And of course, people start saying, I want the attention, right? It relates one way or another to the A tension. And when you redefine the A in terms of the bowl that covers the light, not necessarily a big person, but somebody trying to be greedy and take away God's natural direction so they can get the attention, right? It goes back to the A and the tension that is felt, the pressure, the stress, heart attacks, blood pressure, hypertension, hyper masculine, super tension, supernatural, Superman. So, shoe. See, clearly, remember, and who are shoe connection. Orcus, the trolls, control. Don't you see the play on words? That must be what they're referring to. Must be part of the picture they're painting, what they are alluding to in their despicable sex cult Hollywood movies that partially determine your sexual behavior. Are you going to sit there like there's not a bunch of groupie motherfucking rock and roll, hip hop, sports fans that are fucking in this certain spirit? Oh, I like watching football too. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or, these things affect the reproductive cycle and where the admiration goes. And it almost always starts with money, the root of all evil. From the tree, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Where does paper come from? And who has the knowledge to make it, right? The Secret Service also protects the currency. The currency. Where was the current taking them? It was taking them to the Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean. Median. Intermediary. Misery. Right? Misary. Intermediary. One's contribution to the atmosphere is one's mark on the world. Do you all want to have your hoggle moments? Jared scares me because I'm a coward and Jared scares me. Even Hoggle manned up in the movie The Labyrinth and climbed up a giant machine and threw out the mini-me elf coward the fuck out. And said, look, you sniveling, wicked demon elf. I don't care what the natural direction is. I want to do God's will. I want to do the right thing. Did he get the woman at the end? No. Friends. It's funny how characters in this story get it. They said, well, what about reality? What about reality? How much more in reality? We can go on. Angel harpoon, right? The angel comes down with the spear to spirit. Imagine a kind of tunnel digging cave dweller. And Set wasn't the only one doing wrong. But he was the one who challenged Horus's power, which inevitably led to the chaos. He favored Apep because he was supposed to keep Apep at bay. He was supposed to keep the chaos from ruling from foreigners invading. So Min was the deity of the trade routes of foreigners. And Set was supposed to keep the chaotic foreigners at bay. While Min was supposed to understand what they're up to and deal with them fairly. Instead, all the traders came together, symbolically and otherwise, to create chaos and to take advantage of the chaos they created using brute force, bullying, drugs, and serpent tails. The serpent chasing his tail. And you're all chasing the tail of the E. Now a lot of you will get lost. Compartmentalized. Right? Sports, science, religion. You say, this guy's a great sports player, I'm his fan. This guy, he's so smart. He invented this. Oh, I'm a dumb bitch. He invented a new computer. Oh. Right? Sports, body, science, mind, religion. Oh, I'm in church. And intellect doesn't matter. The body doesn't matter. Only the soul. Instead of the combination which is portrayed through martial arts. So, as we move on, the sex cult, jockey, right? The jockey, the sports jockey, right? The whip, the jockey. Dionysus was also, they found traces of the cult of Dionysus, who was like Pan, but is compared directly to Bacchus, which certainly has a connection to Bes, the leopard, conquering India, said to come from Ethiopia and India, conquering India, said to be Asiatic or Ethiopian rather. Dionysus. Minos, Crete, where they found the evidence as well. Okay? And remember, King Minos is said to be the founder of homosexuality. One way or another, he propagated it to a large degree through Greece and Rome, and this is where you get the Greco-Roman ideas. And of course, you have Pasiphae, the sister of Circe, Kirk, where you get the church. All right, execution. We went over this, XE, cute on. XE cut ion, XEC at ion, the different wordplay we see XE cat ion, interchangeable vowels, and so on. The wind blows the boat toward Upper Egypt. So if you are going to invade by boat and shoot arrows like a bitch, the god of chaos, Set, the god of the wind, the storm, who challenged the divine order from Horus, is who's going to help you get there. How did you get there? Who powered you to get there? Who empowered you? It was the deity of the storm. So of course arrows and using the storm to invade the righteous order cult center Nekhen is wrong. Rams, sparring, curved horns. Of course, the arrow, the wind, can affect the arrows, right? You're putting your fate at the hands of the god of the storm when you take on people with an arrow-heavy attack, because the wind affects the arrows. What do snipers do? They determine the wind and how it's blowing and how heavy, how hard it's blowing, and so on, right? Before they take that long-distance shot. The same thing with an archer. He must consider that he's putting the wind can change direction and so on. It can change direction by the time you get there and throw off your whole attack. As opposed to the sun with the martial artist, how much is the sun affecting the terrain and how heavily you're sweating, how dehydrated you get. So by default, the martial artist is more connected with the sun and the hawk and the leopard. So we can talk about rams sparring, the curved horns. Why did the horns curve backwards? Because they were trying to keep the rams from killing each other. If their horns curved forward and they were trying to fight over a woman, they're more likely to kill each other. So they probably over time evolved to curve backwards. And so they resorted to ramming their enemies off a cliff, perhaps, their predators, and to ramming each other. When they spar over the females of their gender. I'm not an expert in this, I'm throwing it out there. But most of the stuff I'm dead on, okay? I'm not an expert in the rams, and I have a lot to go over. It goes back to Buckingham, right? Starbucks. They kicked the black people out of Starbucks, and you have Buckingham Palace. Okay, so you have the headbutt, the club. Okay, there's connections there. There's a lot to go through here. Sphinx, Spinex, Spawn X. OE, right? OE, Old English, right? The O of the E, the reproductive cycle of the E. The tree versus the vine. Ra Cub's ladder is a tree. Okay. Why is Ra Cub's ladder the tree of life? Because the leopard is found in the tree. The tree of life, the tree of martial arts, right? Advantage. Why does he have the advantage over the Komodo dragon? Because he adds the vantage point of the leopard. Also, why the hawk? Okay, is significant. He picks up on things in the talons and the claws and the strikes and the transferable skills for penetration weapons, penetrating versus brute force. Whether you're penetrating or being penetrated, right? Obviously, if I can penetrate you first, I'm expressing more manhood. It's kind of like I'm fucking the woman. It also goes back to women trying to, women in my time have tried to express femininity, and they use mind control to give them the upper hand and so on and so forth. And you have to consider all the mind control shit they did to me and how I insist on the truth and manned up and I won, the top martial artist in American history position in reality and not in the propaganda bitch shit perspective, mainstream social norm psychiatry, shrink, kind of lying, kind of sex cult, CIA doctors, kind of MK Ultra bitches. Well, we're out of time.